Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to, there we go. Let's do that. Welcome to the Being You book club with me, Connor Hill, written by Dr. Dain Heer. This is actually call number 3 with the Being You book club that I'm doing. So if you're watching this right now on my show called The Most Interesting News in the World, well, you can come join the Being You Changing the World book club with me. We're doing a call every month for the next, well, for every chapter. So starting, this is chapter 3, but we're not actually covering the exact chapters. I'm just kind of like reading whatever I want. You can join. So if you want to join, just go to connorjhill.com/being you book. That'll get you in the right place. Or you can go to accessconsciousness.com/Connor Hill. And if you want more information on the Being You book, you can always go to beingyou.com, I believe, or you just Google Being You book by Dr. Dain Heer. So today I really wanted to, so for those of you watching, I was also going to be talking about our normal class, but I'm also going to broadcast this out to a show I do every week on Wednesday, 11 p.m. Turkey time in Istanbul on a Turkish TV channel that I call The Most Interesting News in the World. Now, I think it's cool because to me right now, especially right now, Being You is the most interesting news in the world, and Being You Day is in 3 days, June 22nd. It used to be May 22nd, not that it matters, but from here on out, literally, International Being You Day is on June 22nd every year. How does it get any better than that? So what is the Being You book if you've never heard of it? And for some of you, maybe this is your first book club you've joined with me. Boy, the most interesting thing I find about the Being You book is that I can never actually remember anything in the Being You book. But I can remember that there's a part on caring, which is interesting, that I can't remember any of the others. But I really have a difficult time. I'm like, bear? What's in it? So there's chapters like Your Reality in the Free Will Universe, Your Body Knows, which is a good one. Ask and You Shall Receive, also a good one. But let's start at the very beginning, where Dain starts with Beautiful You. Somehow this book ended up in your hands. And he doesn't say this, but I'm going to say it to all of you. Somehow you ended up watching this show right now, or this book club, whatever. Somehow you got here. How does it get any better than that? How does it get even better than that? So is now the time, and is now the space. Are you willing to be you and change the world? Are you? Are you willing to be you and change the world? If so, my courageous friend, before you start reading, say this out loud all 5 times. Yes, say it out loud. He says it in the book, and I'm going to tell you to say it out loud right now. Otherwise, you must go away forever and you're fired. I'm kidding. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Say that out loud. That's what we're saying out loud. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. I like how I'm looking down. I know what the words are. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Now you are sufficiently prepared. Turn the page and begin the journey into weirdness. Yes, weirdness. That's what I said. And in the introduction, this is Dain. I didn't write this book for everyone. I wrote it for the few. The people that realize that this reality in its current form is not working to bring about the greater us. That is truly possible. I wrote it for the dreamers, those that know that something different and greater should be possible, and that we should be able to have it. You dreamers are my people. You are the ones who can truly change the world. If you can just allow yourself the permission to do it, if you can come out of the idea that this reality, as it is, will ever be enough for you, and if you can simply begin to realize that every limitation you've ever thought you had was simply a greatness that you couldn't yet recognize. If you were being you, who would you be? What if you truly being you is all it takes to change everything? Now, I'm going to take a side note. No matter where you are in the world, no matter what country you live in, what government is in control, or what parent is in control, or what guardian, or what local person, or your dog, or your child, or whoever, no matter who you think is in control of your life, what if you, truly being you, is all it takes to change everything? Your life, everyone around you, and the world. What if you being you were the missing key to having everything you've ever desired or wanted to create and change in the world? What if you being you meant receiving everything, being everything, knowing everything, and perceiving everything? Do you know do you know that it's time to wake up? That's what this book is meant to do. It isn't like any other self-improvement book you've ever read. It's not the same old spiritual, psychological rehash of the same old stuff with different words. It's not the same kind of book that you read and then judge yourself for being and then judge yourself for being inadequate afterwards. No. This is a book about empowering you to change many of the ways in which you are judging you, making you wrong, and feeling inadequate. It's about coming out of judgment of you and the idea that you are wrong in any way. Maybe it will even invite you to know that more is possible. Imagine what it would be like to not have to feel wrong about you in any way, for any reason, ever again. Do I keep reading or do we talk? I get keep reading. What if you are in the difference? What if you are the difference the earth requires? Is now the time to step up? So what does it take to truly be you? Would you be willing to try something completely different? It isn't about succeeding as you or doing something better. It is about being you, being the energy of you, whatever that may be. Has anyone ever asked you to show up as you? Just you, exactly as you are? Yeah, me neither. I'd like to invite you to this, being the energy of you. Start by reading and using the tools in this book. They may seem really simple, but please don't discount them because of that. If you choose to use these tools, your life will change and your investment in this book will be worth many times over whatever you paid for it. You don't even have to put massive amounts of work into the exercises. I did. I didn't really listen to that part. I was like, I must put tons of work because that's the point of view I grew up with. And if you grow up with that point of view, okay. This is me jumping away from the book for just a second. Everywhere you fucking impelled the points of views and put the points of views on you and grew up with the points of views that if you are gonna actually succeed in anything, you need to put massive amounts of work into it. And like 10,000 hours minimum will you destroy and uncreate all that. And what I'm about to say is the clearing statement. If you want more information on that, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Cool. Hello. I don't know how to read Chinese, so otherwise I would say your name, but I'm just gonna guess that that's Xing Chang. Hi, Xing Chang. Ni hao. And if someone wants to tell me what those Chinese characters mean, then I'm all about it. Oh, it means Stacy Liang. There you go. That's my guess. I'm just throwing it out there. I didn't know Stacy looked like that in Chinese. Sounds good. So you don't have to put massive amounts of energy, massive amounts of work into the exercises in this book. Reading them is always required. And the willingness to change, just the willingness, you don't have to know how the change is going to occur. The how, you actually don't have to know. So like, you notice how you're like, okay, I will be me, and I will do it by waking up at 7 a.m. and then I will hit the snooze button 3 times, and 45 minutes later, then I will get up and I will get in the shower because that is me. I know who I am, and that is how I will show up in the world. No, you don't have to know how it's going to show up. That's the universe's job. And I keep losing my spot. Use the tools and allow the universe to work for you. If you could figure out your life by thinking, if you could mentally figure out how to be you, wouldn't you have done so already? And if you're like, well, Connor, I haven't actually tried to figure out how to be me yet. Well, how much figuring out do you try to do in your life? How much has it actually worked? Now, some of you might be like, oh, a lot. It worked really well. Well, are you actually truly happy with the way your life is and the world is right now? How much is everybody in the world trying to figure things out by thinking? So is it really working? Or is it time for something different? Wouldn't you be generating a totally different reality by now? I mean, really, haven't you been trying to think your way out of this box forever? Okay. If you are willing, this book can give you an awareness and a reminder of what it's like to be you, beyond the cognitive and beyond the logical mind. It also gives you the tools to choose you. It's kind of like, so for me, when I was 9 years old, I remember I was going to the bathroom. I don't know if I was going one or two, but maybe it was both, one and two, all at the same time. And I was like, oh my God. The moment I finished, I ran into my mom's room and I was like, Mom, guess what? I figured out something that I'm better at than anyone, even God, better at it than God. Yep. Because I was sitting there, I remember now thinking, like, I felt like I was wrong. And I was like, man, I don't think I'm good at anything. Okay. What am I actually good at? What am I better at than anyone? What am I better at than God? What could I possibly be better at than God? I mean, God's got to be pretty freaking good at everything. And I was like, me, done. I can be me better than God because I don't think about it. I just be it. So that was my thing. 9 years old, that was my big awareness for my mom. I can be me, Mom, better than God can be me. Yes. So would you be willing to find out who you truly be? Would you be willing to make the demand that you show up? Would you be willing to know what's really true for you? Now, if you said no to a lot of those, that's okay. Everything that brought up for all of you times a godzillion. Look, a bumblebee. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And by the way, look, I'm in I'm in the middle of the forest and there's a lake. Isn't that cool? Very neat. It's beautiful. Awesome. So, all right. I have both Chinese and English version. That's amazing. Yes, and just like Stacy said, you can find this book in a lot of different languages. It's available in a lot of different languages. I don't know the total number, but most likely it's available in your language. Just going to put it out there. So let me tell you a bit about the playing field. Now it's just going to keep going on. So if you want to know more, if you're already like, oh my God, I need to know the rest of the story, go get the book, get it in your language. And at this point in time, I got some people here hanging out with me, and I'm going to ask them if they have any questions. Is there anything that brings up for anybody? Now, I'm also going to, since nobody said anything, since nobody's asking any questions, they're kind of like waiting for other people. They're like, well, maybe someone else has a better question than me. I guess I'll just wait, even though I do have a question, but I don't know. Maybe my question isn't a good question. It's okay. No such thing as a bad question. There are questions that aren't actually questions. They're not even a real question. And that's totally okay too. So I'm going to ask you these three questions again. Would you be willing to find out who you truly be? Now, if the answer to that is no, I'm going to ask, are you not willing to find out who you truly be because you've been made so wrong for it? How many times have you had where you were truly being you and everything and everyone around you did everything they could to judge you and your very being out of existence. Everywhere you made that real and their judgment more real than you, your very being, will you let it all go now and return it to sender with consciousness attached? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And if you've got, do you have a little bit more of that point of view? The judgment is more real than you. Okay, so is that yours? We have a tool and access called Who Does This Belong To? It's covered in the Being You book. So if you're like, oh, I have the point of view that judgment is more real than me, I'm going to ask you that point of view. Who does that belong to? Is it yours or somebody else's? And if it feels lighter that it's somebody else's, then it was never yours in the first place. And everywhere you bought that point of view as your point of view, will you destroy it, uncreate it all? Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Now I'm going to ask you again, would you be willing to find out who you truly be? Will you find out who you truly be? Cool. Everything that doesn't allow that to show up times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? You're just going to be like, okay, all this stuff, I've chosen a bunch of poop and a bunch of crap that is keeping me from being me, like kind of like if you were truly being you and you had children, well, I should say, if you were truly being you, you would just like enjoy life every day. But you've got children, and so like you can't enjoy life every day because you have to have your attention on them. And in order to have your attention on them, you can't be enjoying life, because the moment you enjoy life, you won't have your attention on your kids. How many points of views is that? That's like 80,000 points of views all in one sentence. So all of those points of views, all of those, we're going to call it presumptive realities, that you can't enjoy life and have your attention on your kids, or you can't enjoy life and you can't and have your attention on money flows, or you can't enjoy life and thrive in this reality. Will you destroy and uncreate all that shit times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So I'm going to ask another time. Would you be willing to find out who you truly be? Will you find out who you truly be? And would you be willing to lose anyone or anything in order to find out who you truly be? Awesome. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Because most of the time, the only reason we're not really willing to be us is because there's someone or something we're not willing to lose. And a lot of times that's for how many of you, that's something that, if there's whatever some things you have that you're not willing to lose, are actually the judgment you have of you that you're holding on to you. Ooh, would you be willing to lose that fucking judgment of you now? Okay. You're like, no, it's really important, the judgment. Right. So, just in case you didn't know, the only reason anyone ever judges you is so that they can control you. Did you know that? Well, now you do. It's the purpose of judgment, is to control you. Do you like being controlled? If you do, that's fine. Keep buying into the other people's judgments. If you don't like being controlled, then don't buy into the judgment, okay? You get me? You getting clear on this? All right. So, all right. Any questions in the peanut gallery? No. How's that working for everyone? All right. Yay. Well, that did a lot. And I'm a little bit like, whoa, cool. So moving on from there, we've got more chapters. What if caring were the core of you? Are you willing to be different enough? Something, something, something. I can't see the rest of it. Why is it not showing me the whole thing? It's still not showing me the whole. Are you willing to be different enough to have a great relationship? Let's talk about sex, baby. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that one. You got to buy the book for that one because that's the one I know you all want to read. Because I'm a trickster like that. You know, this is like a movie preview because you got to buy the movie. What if you chose your parents? If death were a choice instead of a wrongness? Are you ready to be undefined? Changing the world. Part 2. Ready to get rid of autopilot? Wands out. You are magic. Does the planet really need saving? Now, let's cover that one a little bit because I heard a lot of people like, what do you mean? Of course it does. When you wake up tomorrow, please ask, Earth, what do you require of me today? And I also love the Earth, so that's my fan. I'm a big fan. I love you, Earth. Is it raining? Oh, it is raining. Perfect. Amazing. Do you require me to be more pathetic? Does the Earth require you to be more pathetic? No, definitely not. Or maybe you require me to hate myself. Maybe you require me to judge me more. No. Oh, of course, you require me to have some big trauma and drama and tears to prove that I'm alive. I'm sorry, my friend. You're probably not going to get any of those answers, but don't listen to me. Try it for yourself. Just ask the Earth. What do you require of me? Now, I have not been doing that nearly as much as I would like to. Starting today, I'm going to be doing that every day. Now, like I said, this is a Being You book club that I'm doing, and I'm doing a call every month. So for those of you on the Being You book club, and for those of you that haven't joined yet and are going to be joining, and for those of you that are watching this in the future to where you can't even join, doesn't really matter. What if you asked this question for the next, every morning for the next month? Would you do that? Would you try it? See what shows up? Okay, cool. I'm going to be asking every day for the next month until our next call. So, and just see what shows up. So you can ask right now, Earth, what do you require of me? And I do like those questions. Do you require me to be sad and disgruntled and upset about things that are going on? Do you require me to worry about money? All of you that got yes for that one, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all, call, night, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Okay, cool. Well, everyone, I think, and I think we did. I realized that I'm kind of ending this pretty quickly. I do tend to do that kind of a thing. I have outlasted myself. This has been good. And unless anybody has a question of what they would like to, where they would like to go and what they might want to know. So like, what do you all want to know? I'm going to leave it with that because I really like that tool. I'm going to leave you with that tool of asking the planet, would you, what do you require me in? And I'll finish out on what the chapters are. You have the chapter, The Kingdom of We. Are you willing to be a leader? And the very last chapter is the beginning, because it's only just begun. So if you are not already on my Being You book club, please join. The details were at the beginning. I'll give them here to you now. You can go to connorjhill.com/being you book. I'm pretty sure, or just go to connorjhill.com and you should be able to find it. You can also go to accessconsciousness.com/Connor Hill, and you can register in either place. We'll get you signed up, and we do this call once per month. And like I said, we are doing the International Being You Changing the World Day on June 22nd. Leading up to that on June 20th, which is tomorrow, a little bit later in the day, I'm going to be doing a free YouTube show with Sarah Grandinetti, and we are talking about, I have to remind myself because I'm drawing a blank. What do you do? How do you stay happy when things aren't showing up as you plan? Something like that. What do you do when it doesn't all show up the way you wanted it to? So join us tomorrow if you like that. And that leads into a big thing that Dr. Dain will be doing on June 22nd, because he's actually actively doing a 3-day class in Mexico City The 3-day class is called Being You, Changing the World, or it might be a 3.5-day class. I can't remember. And then after that, I actually have next week a class. If you would like to join a Being You Adventures class, if you're like, I want to know more about this stuff, you can come to a class. I'm doing one. It's an introduction to Being You Adventures in Wealth. It'll be live and online in Taipei, Taiwan. So if you want to come to that, you can register at accessconscious.com/Connor Hill. I know, I just offloaded a lot of information to all of you at the very end, mostly because there's a lot of Being You stuffs available for the next week, and I want you all to have it. If you're like, I want to be me, and even if you don't want to be you, I want to be like, you better start being you. I was really just quiet right now because I'm kind of outside and, you know, it's nature. Yum adventure. Yay, Isadora. And Stacy says, what? I'm making a demand. What are you? What I making a demand? I'm not sure what the question is. Sorry. I don't get it. Have a good time in Taiwan. Thank you, Stacy. And I will see all of you that have joined next month in the Being You, Changing the World book club with me. And for those of you seeing this on the most interesting news in the world, well, this show's every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Istanbul time. So I'll see you either next week or in a month, depending on where I see you, or sooner than that. Ciao, ciao. Or tomorrow. Come tomorrow. I want to see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming and watching. And thank you for being you.